Hear again the words of the prophet Isaiah. Comfort, comfort my people, says your God. Speak tenderly to Jerusalem and cry to her that her warfare is ended, that her iniquity is pardoned, that she has received from the Lord's hand double for all her sins. A voice cries in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord, make straight the desert highways for our God. Every valley shall be lifted up, every mountain and hill be made low, and uneven ground shall become level, all the rough places a plain. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. For the mouth of the Lord has spoken, a voice saying, cry, and I said, what shall I cry? All flesh is grass, and all its beauty like the flowers of the field. The grass withers and the flowers fade when the breath of the Lord blows on it. Surely the people are grass. The grass withers, the flower fades, but the word of the Lord stands forever. Go on to the high mountain, O Zion. Herald the good news. Lift up your voice with strength, O Jerusalem. Herald the good news. Lift it up. Fear not. Say to the cities of Judah, behold your God. Behold, the Lord God comes with the might, and his right arm rules for him. Behold, his reward is with him, and his recompense before him. He will tend his flocks like a shepherd. He will gather the lambs to his arms. He will carry them in his bosom, and gently lead those that are with you. People much beloved by God, grace to you and peace from God, our Father, and our Lord Jesus Christ. Advent is a season of waiting. With that waiting comes the temptation to be distracted, to be entranced by sin, by death, and the powers of the devil. In the meantime, the prophet Isaiah worked as the mouthpiece of God, preaching to the people of Israel. As Israel waited for the Messiah, so now we are in a period of waiting. See, preaching is a gift from God, that you may hear his word and believe. The office of the preacher is fulfilled by prophets and pastors alike. Isaiah approaches his message to the people as any preacher would. He delivers the crushing blow of the law. He reminds them that the welfare that they hope for can only be found in God. He reminds them that they're warring, that they're suffering, and that their iniquities are theirs, that they've fallen into sin, and that they have been plagued by curses. And what's more, the same can be said of us. So perhaps we aren't actively involved in any struggles or full-scale wars right now, and maybe we aren't dealing with some of the curses that we have recently. But what about the internal struggles? What about the quarreling with our neighbors and our family members, especially this time of year? Aren't these your iniquities, your sins? See, in your sin, you're constantly struggling against your neighbor, against God, and ultimately against yourself. The preacher has to bring these words of the law forward to drive you to fear, to realize the caliber of your sin, to show you that there is only one hope. That is your Lord Jesus Christ. Insomuch as it is the duty of the preacher to bring you to your knees in humility before God, it is also the sweet and blessed duty of every preacher to deliver Christ and his gospel. That is the word that the preacher is commanded to say, comfort, comfort my people. Speak tenderly to them that their warfare is ending, that their iniquity is pardoned, and that rather than paying you in kind for sin, God has given you a double portion of his blessing. He gave Isaiah the prophet to tell us and to tell his people that John the baptizer, the forerunner of Jesus Christ, was coming. And God gave you the very same John the Baptizer to preach, to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ, to prepare the way of the Lord. When he was asked who he was, he said, I am nothing more than a voice in the wilderness, crying out, prepare the way of the Lord. When he saw Jesus come towards him to be baptized, John did exactly what he was supposed to do and proclaimed, behold, the Lamb of God who is slain from the foundation of the world. God sends you a preacher so that you may hear his word again and have faith. Not just in the Holy Scriptures, but he does it on a weekly basis. Hi. The reason that you have your own preacher here is because you need to hear the promise every week because you forget it every single week. You live your life as a creature, captive to sin, death, and the powers of this world. But there is hope in Jesus Christ, and you have to be reminded of that. And that is why we are here. Just as a bridesmaid prepares and cares for the bride, so too the preacher cares for Christ's bride and prepares her for the day when he shall return. Now here I am, standing in the office of the preacher, proclaiming to you that you have been forgiven on account of Christ and him crucified. Although occasionally I have to speak the word of the law, I am here to speak tenderly to you, to remind you that God has spoken his promise to you. I'm not speaking of the things that have been, but of the things to come. This is Advent, the memorial of Christ's first coming and the anticipation of his return at the last day where he will raise up all who have believed in him, where all whose hearts have been prepared will rest in him eternally. Thanks be to God that Christ is crucified for you for the forgiveness of his sins. In my office, it is my duty to promise this to you every single week, and thanks be to God that this is the word, the gospel for you. Amen. Hello, I'm Vicar Aaron Dawson, and I hope that you heard comfort, forgiveness, and the promises of Christ in this sermon. For more sermon videos like this, information about our church, and promises of Christ, you can visit us at sjlcmetro.com. That's sjlcmetro.com. Thank you, and God bless you and keep you in his grace.